Welcome back to another episode of the Iron Purpose Podcast. I am here with Sadie Lanphear. New last name. Have you got used to saying your new last name yet?
For myself, no, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I still on occasion call him my boyfriend, and then he looks at me and he goes, "Excuse me," and I'm like, I gotta get used to that. Yeah, I haven't done it in a while, but it'll catch up to me sometimes, and he just looks at me like, "Excuse me."
Well, congratulations. Newly married as of this last Saturday? Is that what it was? Or
Sunday.
Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's so awesome. How was it? How was the
Oh my
weather?
God, it was so fun. The weather was literally perfect. It wasn't like scalding hot, but warm enough to where we weren't freezing.
Right.
But we were both sweating. Some people were like, "Oh, it was really warm," but then the reception was fine.
Love that. Where are you now? Is it Colorado?
It's Kirkland, Washington.
Washington. Somewhere over there.
Similar.
Yeah, because you lived in the Brainerd Lakes area for a little while there, and then moved out there to be with your now husband, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome, cool, and we'll dive into that more. But so I mean, I guess kind of how we met. I was at the gym working on a takedown gym here in town, and just happened to notice you working out. I was like, man, like you can tell when people know what they're doing in the gym, and it was really cool to see you in there consistently and like always doing your thing and doing it very passionately. And so I just stopped you one day and kind of was like, hey, what do what's your why? What's your reasoning for being in the gym? Like, how do you stay consistent in here? Because it's a grind sometimes, to try to find that determination and that just the consistency to get in the gym. And I got to pick your brain a little bit, and you kind of touched on your story just a little bit, and I was like, man, I got to get you on the podcast. And that was like way early on. So when I
Yeah, that
saw
was
you,
like what, a year and a half ago? And then after that I had moved and started a new job and I'm like, "Oh my God, overwhelmed." And then here we are, finally.
yeah, so I think you just got done competing or something, or you posted something, and I was like, hey, we got to get you on the pod.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, because you
Yes.
you do all kinds of different things, and those are the people I like to gravitate towards and get on here because you're a full time nurse, I believe, and we'll get into that, and bodybuilder, and you moved, and you got a wedding, and it's just all these things you got to juggle, and to see you do it consistently and thriving, knowing that you've had some adversity in your past and you've overcome it. Like those are the kind of people. It's like I got to get them on because one, I'm going to learn a heck of a lot from you, from somebody like you, and hopefully somebody else out there can relate to the
Yeah.
conversation that we have and go, oh wow, she went through that, and this is what she was able to do. Because I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and it talked about two brothers. They're growing up, and they had the same circumstances growing up. And one of them is a successful businessman, and he's doing great. And the other one is in jail, and he's serving a long time in jail. And it kind of brought the perspective of, we all have our own adversities, and it's how we handle them and how we deal with them, how we respond to them can really change the trajectory of our life. So
Absolutely.
when you see people grow from that and thrive from it, it's just so inspiring, and it's so cool. So I'm super excited for this conversation.
Me too.
I say all that to say that. But so now I'll give you the opportunity to kind of share your story. Like I said, whatever it is you feel like sharing, and I'm gonna probably have a whole mess of questions for you, but we'll kind of just go along the way. So take it away,
Sounds
Sadie.
good. So I will start off with when I was about 13 to 18. I'm 22 now. I just turned 22 in July, but from 13 to 18, I had a lot of issues like with alcohol and like self-destructive behaviors. I did a lot of drugs. I was binge drinking like 3 to 5 times a week. And then I got sober and I moved to the Brainerd Lakes area to go to college at CLC for my nursing degree. And at the time, my boyfriend and I had moved there, and I was taking a gap year from 17 to 18 just to finish like my last like 3 prereqs. So I didn't really have to do any. And he had died May of 2024, and I was 18 at this time. Not 2024. Good God. What year is it? 2022? Yeah, he died May of 2022. And I was 18 still at this time. And that like totally rocked my world. I relapsed on alcohol. I was drinking profusely, like probably more than I had ever drank in my life. And I remember I had hit probably my lowest point. I had gotten fired from my job at the hospital. I was about 3 months from starting my nursing classes. I had no idea what I was doing. I woke up in my friend's yard at noon. Half my face was like burnt. Half my body was like burnt because I was sitting in the sun for who knows how long. I was super dehydrated and I was like in a pool of my own vomit. And I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't how I want to continue my life. So I just honestly started going back into the gym, but I needed structure because it was very hard for me. I lost all my routines, all my stability, and I just needed to get something back. And I truly believe when you have an addictive personality, you can't get rid of that. Like that's just who you are on the inside. Like you see people who are addicted to work. Like I look at doctors and they literally live to work. Like their work phone is always on them. They're constantly like they have an addictive personality. Everyone that has an addictive personality has something. And for me, mine dove into bodybuilding. It gave me stability, structure. It allowed me to stay out of trouble because I was so busy. So I transitioned.
Had you been in the gym up to that point, or was there just kind of like, I'm just gonna like what sparked bodybuilding?
So I'd been in the gym, like I've been an athlete since I was like 8. So like I've been used to being in the gym, but it was only like for strength training. It wasn't really purposefully hypertrophy and to get bigger. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember my partner and I, the one that had died, we would see bodybuilders and we're like, that's crazy. Like there's no way we could ever have that much discipline to be able to do that. I just was like, you know what? I want to see how hard I can push myself and I want to be able to do it. Like I watched people and I was like, wow, this is so inspiring that through, I mean, 4 months of your life, you're going to have something happen where you have to overcome it. Like there's no way in 4 months you're just like, yep, life's great all the time. But you're doing all of this stuff during the time that you're cutting down for your show and you just get to see how hard you get to push yourself. Like how
Mm-hmm.
far are you willing to feel exhausted and love every second of it, even when you don't feel great. But throughout all that, I was like, I just want to push myself. I need to get back in the gym. I need to create that stability because I have none of it right now. And then that really helped me. That got me sober. I started eating a lot better. There was so much inflammation just like in my body, and like you could see it in my face from drinking. Like everything was puffy, and I was real upset. So
Mm-hmm.
then I switched over, started feeling great, doing a lot better. Then I started my first semester in nursing school, and I was talking with my coach at the time, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do a show. And she's like, are you sure? Like, you just started nursing school. Is that really what you want to do? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So at this time, I was still working part-time night shift. Then I started bodybuilding prep and going through second semester of nursing school. And with nursing school, you have clinicals in person at like either a nursing home or a hospital. Then you also have your lecture classes. So I was doing all of this while working night shift and doing bodybuilding prep. And it was crazy. Like I was constantly busy and constantly running around
No kidding.
needing to be somewhere. But it was so fun. Like it was amazing to see like what I get to do this. I get to see the hard parts but love every minute of it. So I did that, competed, and then I just continued growing because with bodybuilding it takes so long to grow. My God, that's all you do is spend like 90% of your time growing. And then I graduated May of 24 with my RN. And at this time, my now husband and I had been talking for a while, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to make a little leap and I'm going to move to Washington because I have a degree that I can take anywhere with me. I literally just
Mm-hmm.
fill out a little form online, boom, now I'm licensed in whatever state I want. So I was like, you know what? I really want to take that leap because after my last partner died, dating sucked. It sucked. It was terrible because anytime I'd meet someone new, I'm like, nope, he would never do that to me. And then I'd quit talking to them. Or I felt so much guilt and shame because I'm like, he doesn't get to do this. He doesn't get to live. He doesn't get to see these massive strides in life. And when I started talking to Gavin, I never had those thoughts. Like when I told him about my partner who had died, he was like, that's okay. He's like, life happens. And we had related because one of his best friends had passed away in May of 23. So like a year after my partner had died. And January? January of 23. I was way off. Be nice to me. And we related to that so much, like our grief. We could talk about our grief, and that was always a big thing too, is that I couldn't talk about my grief with the people that I was trying to date because they just, I don't want to say they didn't understand, but they were like, oh, that's too much baggage. And I'm like, I can't help it. Like,
Right.
somebody passed away. What am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do?
Right.
So I just like totally stopped talking,
Mm.
dating, all of it. And then I met Gavin, and it was immediate. Like, we're like the exact same person. We found out that we had matching tattoos that we didn't even know about. And
No
they're like
way.
super, yeah, they're like super niche tattoos. So I have 5% on my wrist. I don't know if you can see it. And there's a bodybuilder named Rich Piana, and he made the brand of 5%. And it was basically saying that you are willing to do whatever it takes to reach your goals, no matter what. You don't care what you have to sacrifice or how hard you have to work, but that you're willing to do it, no matter what. And he has the exact same one. And we didn't even know because we didn't really like share tattoos. We weren't like, oh my God, look at all my tattoos. We just met. We met. And then when we went to the gym together, he pointed at my wrist and said, is that, is that 5%? And I said, yes. And then he showed me because it's on his opposite arm. And it
Mm-hmm.
was just the coolest thing. Like, we had so many coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was like, you know what? I'm going to make a leap of faith and I'm going to move to Washington and we're going to see how it goes. And it's been absolutely wonderful out here. I mean, it's a little expensive, but that's okay. I love it because I get to be with him, and it's been amazing. Like, he helps me so much with bodybuilding, with my career, and I got a wonderful job out here. I'm an oncology nurse, so I work with lots of chemo patients. And then we have a wonderful bodybuilding gym, literally 2 minutes from us. We can walk to it, and it's been so amazing. But yeah, like, my life is so busy all the time because I work full-time night shift, which is really like, people talk about, oh, with nursing, you only have to work like 3 12s a week, which doesn't seem like a lot, but holy buckets is it exhausting on your days off, especially if you're night shift, you have to switch over back to day shift so that you're awake. So like, my days off are mainly cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, errands, meal prepping, getting ready for my next 3 days, and then helping out Gavin. And then when I'm working, I don't really do anything. I just wake up and then I go to work. But out here, the traffic is so bad. See, little Minnesota me was like, oh, I live 20 miles from work in Brainerd, and it takes me 20 minutes. And then I come out here and I'm like, oh, yeah, my job's 20 miles away. It's not a big deal. That's just fine.
20
And Gavin's
minutes.
like, are you, yeah, that's how my brain works, right? No, I hit rush hour traffic. So if I didn't take this like special thing called the toll lane, if I didn't take that, it would take me an hour and 30 to an hour and 45 minutes to get to work. And it's literally
Ye-
like 23 miles away. And I'm like, what? Like, culture shock. I was like, what do you, 20 minutes? What? But so my days are rough. Like, if I work, it's usually about like 16 hours that I'm awake. And then if I work out before I go in, I'm usually awake for 20 to 22 hours. But I love it. Like, I walk in and being a nurse is so purposeful to me.
mm.
I used to be upset about the traffic and I'd be like, oh my God, this is terrible. But then I'd go to work and, like I said, seeing these chemo patients and these oncology patients, usually when they come to us, they're very sick. Like, they have something else causing worsening symptoms. So like, they might have really bad ascites, like the swelling in your stomach, and they can't breathe and they're nauseous. And they get a staging one day, and then their oncologist comes and says, hey, you're going to be getting a port placed the next day. And then they get a port placed. And then they're like, hey, we're going to start chemotherapy the next day. So all of this information is getting thrown at them. And they're so overwhelmed. And the processing part, we get to really help them with. Like, we get to sit there and we get to grieve with them. Like, we'll say, okay, we have to grieve together the life that you had, because it's never going to be the same. For the next however many times that you're getting treated, for the amount of years, it's going to be vastly different. And yes, it's going to be hard. And yes, there's going to be lots of tears and lots of hard days. But we are going to sit here and we're going to look back at the amazing, joyous times that you had. And then we're going to take on this new chapter with open arms, because this is how strong you are, and we get to help you with that. So
Mm.
I see them and I'm like, wow. And I'm complaining about traffic. Like, come on. Like, these people would probably chop off their arm and leg just to sit in traffic and have like air touch them, like just blow in their face, and to say, "Cal, traffic, worst part of my day." And I'll even ask my patients, I'll say, "So, before you came in here, did you have a really small problem?" And they'll be like, "Yep." And I said, "You look back and you go, Cal, was it really that big of a deal?"
Right.
So I try to like keep life into perspective in that way. So even when I'm having a
Mm.
really hard day, or like I wrap this into bodybuilding, because I see lots of posts about bodybuilders saying like, "Oh, I'm suffering," or "This sucks, I hate this." And in my head, I'm like, if you hate it so much, why are you doing it? Like, we are so privileged to be able to even get up and move. Like, lots of my patients that have stage 4 cancer usually have cancer now to their bones. So it's metastasized to their bones. It basically turns their bones into sponges, and they get these fractures and they can't move.
Mm.
So, like, in my head, I think, why do we complain about something that we wake up and avidly do every single day? If you
Wow.
aren't loving the process, even on your hardest days, you shouldn't be doing it, because life is too short. And so many of my patients like wish that they could even just like sit up and do regular, normal human things that we take for granted every day. We take going to the bathroom by ourselves for granted. Like, you'd be like, "Oh my God, I got to go pee so bad." Ugh. But you get to do that by yourself. You get to brush your
Right.
teeth by yourself. You get to have your dignity to yourself.
Mm.
And we don't think about that, because that's just like an everyday thing. We're like, or even I had a patient who was around my age, and they were paraplegic. And they said, "I never, 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 never thought that I would have so many people see me naked, and that's so scary." And it's like your dignity, you feel shameful and upset. And like I said, I really dislike, even my generation as a whole, we all like to play, I don't want to say play victim, but "Oh, my life is hard. Oh, my life is
Yeah.
hard."
A
And
victim to your
yeah,
circumstance.
yeah. And life is hard. But you talk to literally anybody, and they have something. You
Mm-hmm.
can't live 20, 30, 40 some years and have nothing bad happen to you. That's just not how life works.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to truly look at your situation and either let it define who you are, or you use it as fuel. You're going to use it as fuel, and you're going to grow from it. And being uncomfortable, yeah, it's not the funnest thing, but that's how you know you're growing. Like, when I'm uncomfortable, I'm like, okay, this sucks a little bit. But then I think, no, this is what I'm going to grow. This is what I'm going to grow as a human being.
Wow.
So if you decide to sit there, right? If you decide to sit there and think, "God, that my life sucks, everything sucks, I'm a victim, all these bad things happen to me. I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry." You're never gonna grow. You're allowing your emotions to let you sit in a stagnant place.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, look at it as, okay, this is challenging me. Like, do I necessarily love it? Not right now, but I'm going to. But I need to allow myself to feel uncomfortable. And I cannot allow my emotions to let me sit and stay stagnant, because your emotions are trying to protect you
Mm-hmm.
ultimately.
Right.
But I remember one of my therapists, mind you, I'd have a lot of therapy. I have like bi-weekly therapy for like years, because
Mm-hmm.
I was all over the place.
Yeah.
My therapist always said, "Sadie, your feelings are not facts. You are allowed to feel your feelings, but you need to let go of them. Once you feel them and process them, it is time to let go and look at the facts." Even if someone's like speaking to you and you're like, "I feel like they're being mean to me," ask them, like, "What is your intent with you asking me this question? Like, are you
Mm-hmm.
trying to be mean to me?
Are you?
Are my feelings are my feelings like real here, or am I just thinking in my head?" It's very, very easy for us as humans to let our emotions get to be too much and dictate our actual decisions.
Right.
So we have to look at it as, these are not our facts. These are just how we feel. Write it down, process it, throw it away. And that's probably one of my biggest. Oh, I totally forgot what was that. Anywho, I just prepped for this show. This show was really tough for me, because my coach that I had in the beginning was like, "Hey, let's prep. You're looking like you're in a good spot. I want to see what's underneath and what we need to improve." And I'm like, "Sounds good to me." And I told them, I want to be really conditioned. Like I want to look very detailed. And to do that, you need to be in a deficit for like 20 weeks, especially for a woman. Like women, we are doesn't want to come off of us because biologically, I say this with as much love as possible to women, we were made to have babies. We like to hold on to fat. That's the way of life. It is what it is. So I'm like, okay, I want to be detailed. And she said, okay. And then 12 weeks go by and I'm 7 weeks out and I'm like, for multiple weeks, I'm asking, hey, why is my food staying the same? Like I'm eating the same that I was eating when we were growing, which I should not be. Like at 7 weeks out for me and how I look, I should have lines in my legs
Mm-hmm.
because my legs take a while to come off. And you need to be able to take it off slowly so you don't lose muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, no, just trust me, trust me, trust me. And I'm like, okay, I'll trust you, I'll trust you. And then this whole big ordeal happened when one of our other friends competed and had nothing to do with me, but it was this whole big drama thing. And I'm like, no, but I'm not going to. And that led her, my coach in the beginning, to drop me. She was like, I'm done coaching. I'm not doing this. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like 7 weeks out. I'm like, sick.
Wow.
So I texted one of um, Gavin and I's close friends, who's like a 300-pound bodybuilder. He's a huge guy. He coaches people too, and he coaches Gavin right now. Gavin and I used to be coached by the same person at the beginning of my prep, and then he moved to Neil. And now Neil was like, yeah, I'll take you on. I don't care if it's 7 weeks out. And mind you, as a bodybuilding coach, to have someone come to you and say, hey, I'm 7 weeks out. You don't know anything about my body. You don't know what foods work for me. You don't know how fast fat comes off. You don't know what kind of cardio works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. And he was like, no, I'll take you on. That's not a problem. So my food basically went from like, we'll put in perspective, 100 calories to like 850 to 1,000. And then I was at 70 minutes of cardio. So I was literally just eating 125 grams of chicken, which is not that much, and 50 grams of asparagus, basically just to help me have bowel movements. Because if you're eating straight protein, telling this to everybody, if you're eating straight protein, you are not having bowel movements, okay? Like your bowel movements are like every 5 days. Good luck. So I was basically just eating like chicken and air. And I was like, hey, it's true. That's what Neil said. He said, I got you on the chicken and air diet. And he said, I've never had a client eat so little food. And I was like, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we got this. But anywho, with my body, I am like 5'3" ish.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started with Neil, I was 150 pounds. And when I got on stage, or like right before I started eating food to carb up, I was 135. So for me, I lost 15 pounds within like 6.5 weeks, which is not ideal. Like, I'm not advising this to anybody. If you are trying to lose fat, you should be losing fat at a rate of like 1 to 1.5 pounds. Like 1.5 for me is like a lot. That's a lot. Because I'm 5'3", I'm not a big person. Like, that's a lot coming off my body.
Mm-hmm.
So to lose over 2 pounds a week,
Wow.
so I was like, all right, grind time. But I did take off lots, and I'm very proud of the package that I brought with the circumstances I had. And I'm going to be competing again next year at some point. We're
Mm-hmm.
still working it out, but I decided after that, because the competition was June 21st, I thought about continuing to prep because people were like, oh, you should just keep prepping. Like, you're really close. You just have to have like a couple more pounds down. But if you think about it, this is why you don't want to crash diet. You can only take away so much food. Otherwise, you're going to lose muscle.
Right.
Okay, my food was already rock bottom. Like what I was eating is what somebody should eat when they're a week out from their comp. And I did that for 7 weeks. Like what I did is not what people should do. So if your food's already at rock bottom, what you have to do is bump up your cardio. And I was like, I'm not doing 3 hours of cardio a day and eating no food and then hoping that my body keeps on to some muscle. Like I'm like, no.
Right.
I was very when your food is that low, your hormones like your estrogen, your progesterone, and your test are all in the toilet. Okay, because you're eating no food. Same with your thyroid. You're groggy, you're tired, you're exhausted. And I love it. Do not get me wrong. I love when I'm like, whoa, I just worked a 12-hour shift. I just did 70 minutes cardio and I trained and I'm eating like 1,000 calories and I just did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels great, but I did not want to go through my wedding with that. Like Gavin and I's wedding was so important to me. And I'm like, he doesn't deserve to have me like reading my vows, looking at him like with no emotion, right? Like that's not fair to either of
Just
us.
zombie, right?
Exactly. And there was like 100 some people at our wedding, and I'm like, imagine if I was eating no food and I had to try and like converse with people, and I'm like, oh God, like the only thing on my mind would have been food, 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 food. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nobody deserves that.
Mm.
So I was like, I just want to grow. I just want to grow, and then we'll readdress. So I'll be competing again next year sometime. And same with Gavin. Gavin will be competing in July of 26. I almost forgot what year it was. But yeah, I love that I'm able to do what I do every day. And I think like my biggest message to anyone is you all have hard things in life, and it's okay to be like, yeah, I I had kind of a rough childhood. I had rough things happen to me. It was not fun and nor was it ideal, but you also have to be able to take accountability as an adult. When you turn 18, it is now your responsibility to act like an adult and take accountability. When you're a kid, yeah, you're a kid. We make mistakes.
Right.
We mess up. It's okay. It's a learning process. But when you're 18 and you still have these behaviors and these things that you need to work on, it is your job now. It doesn't get put on that you're a kid. You're an adult. You got to take responsibility for your life. You got to take responsibility for your actions. Even if you've done people wrong, it is your responsibility to either make them, I think, making amends or even just apologizing. It gets it off your chest. But you got to take accountability for you. For you. You can't place it on anybody else. You can't put blame on anybody else. Like, let's say you were heavy into drug use. This was like a big thing for me too with my drinking because I'm like, oh, it's the people that I was around. It's the people that I was around. But no, it wasn't. It was me. Nobody forced me to drink. Nobody's like, you have to drink or you have to leave. No, that was on me. I chose to drink. I chose to do X, Y, and Z drugs because I wanted to, not because anybody else told me to. And then you, like I said, you got to take responsibility for your life as an adult. It's your job to do that.
100%. And working in the jail, I work as a correctional officer in a jail, and I work with guys, and we have a program called the Impact Program. So they come in there, they do a workout, a meditation period, and then we have a topic for the week. We have a couple weeks that we do, but in there, a big thing is like none of this is going to stick with you unless you one take responsibility for your actions. You know, you're all in here because you allegedly did something, whether it was drugs or assault or whatever the case may be, and you nailed it on the head. Like I think that's step one in turning your life around and making a positive change. Is okay. This is what I did. I'm going to take ownership of it, and we're gonna move forward with it. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people still say, oh, they're out to get me, or it's his fault or her fault that I'm here in this situation. And it's just like, man, the more you put that off, the more times we're gonna keep seeing you in here because they say they want to change, but they don't want to take the accountability for their actions or what they did. And a lot of times, there are times when we do see people make that decision, that turning point. And I just had someone on 2 episodes ago who fell into drug addiction and ended up doing time
I
in
saw
prison.
that one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's awesome. And appreciate
And
you
that's
appreciate you watching
amazing.
it. But
Of
yeah,
course.
yeah, and it was cool to see that turning point in her mind, going, I'm not doing this anymore. So for you, you're involved in this stuff. You have someone very close to you pass away. You wake up on the lawn that morning. Was it just the fact of you not wanting to be in that situation anymore that flipped the switch for you, or was there a moment where like this is where I'm going to start to make a difference? Because you've obviously been through a lot, and
Yeah.
even now, as you're juggling all these different things and the work that you're doing, and I'll have a couple questions on that too. Like it's almost like you're throwing yourself into adversity to continue to sharpen yourself and come out
Yes.
stronger on the other side, and it's
Yes. Yes.
crazy.
I mean, my God, my life am uncomfortable almost every day because I have so much that needs to get done. But I think it's pivotal for us to sit in that uncomfortability. Like people, like at my job right now, like I work as a charge nurse, which charge nurses like manage, we kind of like micromanage like the other nurses on the floor. We make sure that they're doing okay. We make sure all the patients are doing okay. And you don't see 22-year-olds, or well, I was 21 when I initially started charge, but you don't see that. And nobody like believes me when I tell them, yeah, I'm 22. They're like, no, you're not.
That's
And I'm like,
crazy.
yeah. But yes, I purposefully make myself uncomfortable all the time. But with with when I woke up in the lawn, I just was like, do I really want to feel like this every single week? Like, what is this doing for me? And I don't know. I just had that little part in my head where I'm like, you cannot keep doing this and survive. Because I had drank of a lot. Like, I want to say like probably like the little like pints
Mm-hmm.
of vodka. I had drank like an entire pint of vodka within like 4 hours, and I had puked multiple times, like 8 to 10 times, all around. And I got to the point where I wasn't even throwing up food or anything. It was just straight like vodka, and I'm like, is this really how you want to live your life? Like, you just got fired. You now have to find a new job, and you're choosing just to drink. Like, this is really what you want to do, babe.
Mm-hmm.
And you just like, I just looked in my mirror and I'm like, I'm ashamed, and I don't want to feel ashamed. I want to be proud of myself. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, I'm so proud for waking up in a pool of my own vomit. Like, that's great. No, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. I want to look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm so proud of everything I've accomplished
Mm-hmm.
and how much adversity I went through, but how I came out, and I didn't allow it to let me stay stagnant or allow it to let me say, he died. I'm just going to keep drinking because I don't want to process my emotions or my feelings. I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to do it. It pushed me to be better because I had to
Mm-hmm.
look in the mirror and say, no, girl, we can't keep doing this. You're going to die. You are going to die. And
Mm-hmm.
I fully believe if I didn't stop, I would have died because I was completely out of control. Like, I look back and I have like some videos and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I'll even show Gavin or some of my friends now and they're like, that was you? Yeah.
And what?
It's like totally different people.
Right. And I'm glad you touched on this part too, and you just were kind of getting into it a little bit. That grieving process of allowing yourself to carry that weight for just for a brief moment of going, these are all the actions that I've done. This person passed away. I lost my job. Like, I think it's important to just take a moment and just understand. We talk about taking accountability for our actions, but also just observing and understanding the horrible things that are happening to us, and like being okay with it for a little bit, being okay to say, man, this
Yeah,
sucks, this is not fun, and I need help, and I'm going to reach out to somebody and get into therapy and do these things. It's just super important because not only are you bettering yourself, but you're also helping other people now. Like you said, with the process of being in your job, you have to go through a grief process with these people. And if they were to say, well, what do you know about grief? Like, you're young, you're a 20-year old, maybe, how could you possibly relate to this? And you're able to maybe not necessarily share your story with them, but share the emotions and the fact that, I've been through this before and this is what I did. This is what we can do. Like, we can still enjoy this moment and move forward. It's crazy how that decision not only affects your life, but now just the trajectory of all these people that you impact here and there, and just the ripple effect that it can make, all because you went, I'm not done. I'm not going to let this be who I am. I've got a lot of life to live and I'm going to make the most of it, even when it is, crappy.
absolutely. And when you have bad things happen to you, it's pivotal that you even say to yourself, this sucks. Like, and because some people say, well, somebody has it worse than you. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at that, but do it later. It's pivotal that you look at your situation and go, yeah, this sucks and I hate it. I hate it. But what can I do to change it? No, we
Mm-hmm.
cannot change everything. No, there are things that are out of our control, but what can we do to be better? Like, I can't go and get my job back that I got fired from. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Hey,
Sucks to
it's me.
suck.
Sorry.
Yeah, can you please rehire me? Sorry. Like, I can't get undrunk, but what I can do is I can reach out to resources that can help me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's for anyone that's in a bad situation. You may not have all of the tools in your toolbox, but that's why you reach out to people who do. Therapy, chemical dependence, inpatient rehabs. They are there for us. There are resources because nobody's born with toolboxes. We don't have all the tools. And like I said, I spent years in therapy, years. And then after my partner had died, I had done bi-weekly for a year, then I did weekly, and now I've gotten really good at coping and learning how to deal with my adversity. And I don't really get stuck between a rock and a hard place anymore. I just am like, okay, and if I don't, then I know who to reach out to.
Hmm, absolutely. And so this is fresh on my mind just because it recently happened, but I think it was 2 days ago now at work. I was in one of the units and I was passing medications to one of the guys, and I had the door open and I was handing it to him, and for some reason he got upset because he said, "Well, I don't have those, aren't the meds." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what are you missing?" And as soon as he hands me the cup, he punched me right in the chin, and that's the first time I'd been assaulted on the job in the
Oh my
jail.
God, I'm so
And
sorry.
yeah, so I was like, it kind of went in slow motion. Like, did he just hit me? And I get back and I get my taser out, and we were able to get him down and do what we needed to do after that. But ended up taking the rest of the day off because I couldn't shut my mouth. My jaw was like locked open,
Oh my
and
God,
so it
that's
was
horrible.
a very crappy situation. And I took the
Yeah.
rest of the day off, and it kind of relates to what we're talking about. Like that adversity happens. I took the day off to kind of dwell in it. I went to the gym and beat the crap out of a heavy bag for a little while, and then came back home, and today I was texting one of my mentors, and he had said, you take a couple punches to the chin, you realize you're not made of glass, and that opens up a greater version of yourself. And that was like a really eye-opening perspective to me. It's like,
Mm,
yeah, I took that punch, but it doesn't mean that I'm weak. It means, I'm stronger as a result of it, because now I know, and I'm not made of glass. I'm a little tougher than I think. And you touched on the therapy side of it, which I think is so huge, because mental health is like something that is so huge that everybody deals with in some point, but I don't think enough people talk about it. And even myself,
no.
I went to therapy for a little while dealing with anxiety and a lot of different things. And another one has been the gym, going to the gym and having
Yeah.
that outlet. And we've touched on that a little bit. But when you started going to the gym, like, was it just being able to release and get, and, put in the hard work, or did that really help build your confidence? And then on the flip side, when it comes to like bodybuilding, does it ever get difficult to try to reach this perfection, and sometimes you fall short, may not be exactly where you want to be? Like, how do you manage that? Because it's something that brings you confidence, but at the same time it can also bring you like, oh man, what am I doing, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So when I first started like getting back into the gym consistently, it was just the endorphins and the stability of the routine. Like I didn't even really focus on how I looked before I had a coach. I didn't focus necessarily on how I looked. I just was like, I want to feel good. I want to feel good. I want to move my body. I just was like, I need to feel that the endorphins are coming, that I'm feeling like I'm actually doing something for myself and that I have that stability and routine. Truly, that's what helped me. That's what gave me happiness, was that I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I get to go to the gym. Then I'm going to come home. I'm going to shower. I'm going to eat my food. And then I'm going to have a wonderful day. And I don't have to freak out about anything else. Just the gym. And with bodybuilding, you'll talk to everyone and anyone, and they'll tell you, well, I want to do this, and I want to look like this, and I want to get this, and this, and this. We always are looking for more. Like the true point that I tell people, if you get into bodybuilding, don't expect to make huge, vastly crazy changes or expect to be peeled year round, because it's not going to happen. You should be in
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilding because you love to train, because you love to see how hard you push yourself. Like I love that I'm able to see myself grow. Like, yes, I'm proud of where I'm at. And of course, I always want to be better. And I think like some people are like, yeah, there is a hard point in a bodybuilder's life where you're like, nope, there is no perfection, because nobody's perfect. But it's becoming a better version of yourself every time. That's what you should be looking at. Like, comparison is a thief of joy. If you compare yourself to other people, I always tell people, why do you want to be the same person as somebody else? Now there's two of you. Now neither one of you are really that special because there's two of you. I know. And
Love
I
that.
tell people, especially women, because women are like, I want to be lean year round. And I'm like, why? Why? Like, especially for a woman, do you enjoy eating bird food and doing like 2 hours of cardio every day? That's what you want?
Ugh.
Or if you want to eat more food, you have to do more cardio. You want to do that. You're telling me you avidly want to do that just so then you can have like a six pack?
Mm-hmm.
No. My God, no. I don't want that. No, thank you. I will spend my time eating good food, feeling good, being strong over being crazy peeled. Like that's not, no. Like looking in the mirror, it's like, whoa, that's so cool. Like I can see this. That's so fun. But you feel like absolute crap the rest of the day. Like the only time I'd feel good was in the gym. And like I said, I love it. I love it. I love the feeling of like, okay, how hard can I push myself? But
Hmm.
this is a temporary window. I couldn't, like, if I wanted to maintain sub 10% body fat year round, oh, I would, I
God
don't even
bless
think
you.
Gavin would want to be, I don't even think he'd want to be with me because I would be so crabby and mean all the time.
Hmm.
But no, 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 no. Don't go in it because you want to be lean. Do it because you want to be healthy. You want to grow. You want to see how hard you can push yourself. And because you truly just love the sport. Like watching how much people go through. And again, the adversity piece of it. Like you have so much go on. Like in 4 months, people can tell you 20 different bad things that have happened. And on top of that, you're like, and I'm eating no food and getting leaner and going to the gym every day and doing all this posing and all of everything. If people get into bodybuilding, just be careful because for me, it saved me from like eating disorders because I was bulimic as well when I was drinking and it helped create that stability and routine. But for some people, it doesn't and they become obsessed and way too emotional with the food. Like you have to be able to not have a relationship with food and look at it as fuel. Like I enjoy my post-show cheats. Like I got a burger, I had fries, I had a cookie, I had some donuts, like delicious. But then the next
Hmm.
day I'm like, okay, I want to go back on plan. Like my gut hurts. I just want my food. I just want my chicken and rice. I
Right.
just want some asparagus. What are we eating? Like that's all I want because I
Hmm.
love that and that is my comfort. Like the food aspect of it and having it not in my brain because my coach does it. I'm like, perfect. I'm
Love
like, I'm
it.
sitting good, sitting pretty, beautiful.
So that side of it now. Now I just want to ask about nursing just a little bit before we wrap up here. Had you always wanted to be a nurse or get into the medical field? And
Yeah.
what was like that? What was that like growing up and then finally, achieving that goal of being a nurse?
So when I was around 12, 13, my grandfather died of stage 4 cancer.
Oh,
And I always knew I wanted to be a caregiver, but that really set in stone because he would allow my mom, my sister, my grandma, and myself to help him. And my mom is a nurse, my sister's a nurse, my grandma was a nurse, my dad worked in the lab. Like our dinner talk was nursing 24/7. Like that's just what I grew up on. So I knew I wanted to be in the medical field, and I honestly wanted to go for my NP, but we'll get into that later. But I knew I always wanted to be a nurse. I always knew that that's what I wanted. So in high school, 16 and 17, I did a bunch of prereqs for nursing um, for like college classes. So I didn't get my AA. I just got all my prereqs done except for like 2 or 3. I got into the nursing program, finished up some prereqs, graduated, did all that fun stuff, and then I was going to go for my NP. But then I started working as a nurse and seeing how the actual like hospital works, and it's truly like very ugly right now. Lots of providers, like the hospital I work at night, some providers are covering 400, 450 patients.
jeez.
And they're admitting people. They have to get orders in for these people. We're all messaging them like, hey, 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 I need this, I need this, I need this. So I don't want that responsibility. I work so then I can live. But I also, yes, do live to work, but I don't want to have a work phone on me 24/7. Like, yep, 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 constantly answering calls.
Hmm.
I want to be able to have my passion in my job and miss it. I want to be able to miss my job.
Mm.
Like, I've had some time off because of our wedding, and I'm like, I miss work. Like, I miss being there. I want to see my patients. I miss them. I miss talking to them. And I don't want to lose that passion ever. I don't want to be so mentally drained that I'm like, oh my God, I have to go into work and I'm afraid, I'm scared because I can leave and I get to detach my work phone and put it down. Like our oncologists, if we have questions at 3 in the morning, we call them. And they answered, yep. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll put that order in. 3 in the morning. And I'm like, no, I want to sleep. I want to be left alone on my days off. I don't want to have to check my work email 24/7. I don't want that responsibility. I want to be able to advocate for my patients and then go home and be like, and then miss my job again.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all have hard days. Like the day that you got punched in the face. I guarantee you weren't like, yes, work. Like when you have a hard day, you go home and you're like,
Yes.
not coming back. But
100%.
then you have like a little bit of time off and you're like, miss my job.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I miss it. Because
It
I
is.
think lots of, especially like law enforcement, healthcare, our job gives us purpose. That's why we do it.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
gives us mass amount of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We go there and we want to make it feel like we're making a difference in someone's life. We want to make an impact. We want to affect someone. That's why we do it. So even after you got punched in the face, you're like, okay, I'm debriefing for a day or two. No. But then like you get some time off and you're like itching to go back. You're like, I miss it. I miss it. Like I had a really, oh God, I had a really, really rough shift, my last shift that I had off before I left. And I'm like, huh, okay. And then like 2 days went by and I'm like, damn, miss it. I want to go back. I'm like, ah. So like even when you have hard days, I get to walk away from it. Like
Mm-hmm.
doctors or NPs, anybody, PAs, it's like you don't really walk away from it. It's just there all the time. And I'm like, no, 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 I don't
And
want
how
that.
important is that? I think of as you were saying that, I thought of like either like a football or some kind of sport where you're playing and you're like, man, this is a lot of fun. I really enjoy this, but I need to just take a break on the bench. Or even like I'm a huge MMA fan. I think of those guys going in there and just trying to take each other's face off, and then the round ends. They go to their corner, they get the ice, they get the water, they get to take a little break, and then they go, all right, let's
Yep.
go, let's get back in it.
Yeah, like I'm ready. I'm ready.
That's kind of how I feel. Yeah, that happens. Take the day off, spend the day with my wife and my son, and then 2 days go by. It's like, all right, put me back in, coach. Let's go, ready to get after it. So, kind of to wrap it all up, now that we've talked about all these different areas of your life and how just awesome it all is, what is kind of your outlet? A question that I like to ask people towards the end of my show is, what do you do kind of to stay sharp? We sharpen each other, and sometimes we need to just stay sharp so that we can continue to pour into these areas of our lives, whether it's our marriage or it's our work or it's a lot of people's outlet is the gym, but for you, it's also something that you do. Maybe sometimes you need to break from that too. Is there something else kind of on the side where you're like, this is my moment where I can kind of just be with myself and just kind of fill my cup back up? Or is it just the
Honestly,
grind? You just thrive on the grind?
it's I really do thrive just being uncomfortable. Yes, I do get exhausted, but when that happens, I've gotten better and I used to not be so good. But I go to my husband and I'm just like, I'm really exhausted today. Like I love it, but I'm a little tired and spending time with him is what refills my cup. When I get to be around him, it makes me feel so much better. And I just go, 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 go. Like my days off are go, 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 constant. And I love it, and I wouldn't want it any other way. But I go to him when I need help. I'm like, I need my best friend. And I'm sure that you can relate, like your wife and your son, that is your calm.
Mm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
what brings you peace.
It
And that
is.
he calms my nervous system. So when I'm like way, way, way too high up there in the clouds and I'm like freaking out, and he reels me back in, calms me down emotionally, and then we talk about it, and then I feel so much better. And that's my relaxation.
That's important to have those people, and that's what this podcast is kind of founded on. This the foundation of iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. We're all here with each other in a community, and whether it's ourselves being the servant people helping each other out, or finding a group of people that we can help and help us, and it's really cool when,
Yeah,
especially when you're so busy and have all these areas going on in your life, having those people there to support you and help you is awesome.
you
One more
have to. You
question.
have to.
One more question to keep it light a little bit here. So, say you're about to just go crush a huge workout at the gym. What's your go-to hype song? What are you listening to in your headphones to get you just amped?
Oh, it's called no. Which one is it? Actually, I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie.
Okay,
So we'll go Dracula by Rob Zombie because my dad he used to literally like play Rob Zombie all the time. So that's probably one of my favorites, all time favorites. It never gets old.
love that. Awesome. Well, Sadie, you have an awesome story, and I very much appreciate you taking the time to come on here. Like, I filled my notebook with all kinds of stuff that I'm going to apply to my life immediately. Like, you have a cool story. You're very inspiring, and I think this is just the beginning for you. Like you said, you're what, 22 years old, and that's awesome. Sadie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Iron Purpose. Stay sharp, everybody.